Hi everybody, it's Shalom Cass from here for Realtor.com. Today we're going to be talking about poison ivy because Rockland County has a lot of poison ivy. So if you want to learn how to identify poison ivy and you want to learn how to treat and kill poison ivy so you don't get a reaction as bad as I did when I got it 3 years ago. So the first time I got poison ivy, I didn't even know what it looked like. Trust me, I avoided leaves of 3 ever since I got poison ivy the first time. The second time I got poison ivy, I didn't actually touch the leaves. It's just crazy. So I was cleaning up a part of my yard in early spring before anything had started to really grow. Some things started to grow just very, very little. But cleaning up all these leaves, and there was like all these roots in the ground. I was like digging it out, and I actually had gloves. It didn't occur to me that the roots and all the stuff that I was touching under the leaves in that section of my yard was poison ivy in hibernation, still hadn't yet grown. Apparently even the roots of the poison ivy have oil on it, which can spread all over your clothes. And I got poison ivy for the second time. So now, like, I will not clear my brush. I will not do anything in the spring until things start to grow and I can actually identify what I'm touching, looking at the leaves. So that hopefully that will be a lesson that you could learn from as well. So basically, you get this from on Amazon. It has 32 ounces, and every ounce makes 2 gallons. So this thing will last you years. Then you just got to get a pump, right? So you fill it with 1 gallon of water, half an ounce of the ivy killer, the poison ivy killer, and you go ahead and you spray your property. You don't have to be a professional. If you like to get outside, just walk around the property, breathe in the fresh, crisp air that we have here in Rockland County, and at the same time kill your poison ivy, then I hope this video helps you. Remember, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, pick up the phone and call Shalom, 845-675-8525, here for Realtor.com. See, leaves of 3, let them be. Actually, no. That's what we do to leaves of 3 around my house. Every spring, I go around my property looking for the poison ivy, because I have gotten, very bad reaction to poison ivy. Here we go, another leaves of 3. Here today, gone tomorrow. For some reason, some people have a really hard time identifying poison ivy. Poison oak, there's a lot of like poison oaks and stuff like that. I'm not a professional by any means. But poison ivy, I definitely learned to recognize after getting it twice. One thing that people totally mix up with poison ivy is Virginia creeper. It's a very similar kind of a jagged kind of a leaf, but you see it has the 5 leaves. That's obviously not poison ivy. So let me test your skills over here. Looking at all these plants, do you see the poison ivy? Yes, right over here. That's it exactly. That's poison ivy. That is poison ivy. That is poison ivy. What's interesting about poison ivy is that it grows up a tree. It can grow on the ground. You'll also find it in trees sometimes. And if you don't treat the poison ivy, if you don't kill it, it can actually suffocate trees. So this is what happens to poison ivy when you don't take care of it. It actually grows like, look how thick this vine is. It had to have been on this tree for many, many years. And what ends up happening is it goes up the tree, and you can see that this is like probably 2 or 3 inches thick, this vine. Not this, with the hairy stuff on it. That's all poison ivy. You can see the 3 leaves going all the way up the tree. And what happens is, eventually, see, this is it, right here. Eventually, what it tends to do is it tends to suffocate the tree that it grows on. It wraps it around, and the tree up on the top, many times these trees end up dying simply because of the ivy that's on it. Now, this is actually not on my property. This is on a neighboring property. On my property, when I moved in, I did have something like this. I actually had to take a chainsaw and cut it because it was so thick. But that's what happens when you don't treat poison ivy. It will kill your trees, and it will get so big like this. This is what poison ivy looks like as it's just beginning to grow. See here, it's just starting to go up this tree. Leaves of 3. If you don't treat it now, if you don't get rid of it now, eventually it will take over this tree. So here you see some more poison ivy. Now, when you're spraying poison ivy, you have to be careful not to spray any. Sometimes you have like wine berries or raspberries, wild raspberries. Those are really good to eat. The spray for the poison ivy will kill those. Will kill them as well. So you really want to try to get the plant and not get anything else. Just look at this little guy hanging out over here right next to my house, waiting for somebody to come and touch it by mistake. And we'll see you never again. So I also like to look for poison ivy in the brush on the side of my yard, simply because when my children are playing with a ball, a lot of times the ball will go into the bushes, and the last thing I need is for them to come out with poison ivy. So there, and usually I only treat them once, and they don't come back for the rest of the summer. This is not something that I do every week. I just do it once, and maybe throughout the summer I'll find 1 or 2 areas that I missed, and I'll just spray them, and then they're gone. And that's it. We're good till next year. So usually what happens is after I give a spray, within a couple hours to a day, it starts to wither, and eventually it just dies on its own. Sometimes, if it's a more bigger plant, a more stubborn plant, I will give it another spray. But that's it. My reaction, I've gotten poison ivy twice. The first time was bad, the second time was horrible. And from some research that I've done online, it seems to be that the more exposure you have to it, the worse reaction you have. That's the experience that I had. My landscaper tells me that poison ivy doesn't bother him. In fact, he could put it in a salad and eat it. So, you know, I guess everybody has different levels of sensitivity to it. I'll show you a picture of my reaction that I had 3 years ago from poison ivy. The last reaction was pretty bad. Remember, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, pick up the phone and call Shalom, 845-675-8525. Here for Realtor.com.